What's your number 5? Jinjer.
Is she able to do that? That's amazing.
How did the screaming affect you?
Well, I don't know because I was more focused on amazement that it was her
Yes.
screaming.
Yes. So you didn't even like feel like you liked it necessarily. It was just like awe because someone could do that technically.
So cool.
Because your reaction, like you didn't even notice when she transitioned.
No, because I assumed they were like overlaying her voice or something.
People don't even think that women can do that. And so that's just factually incorrect. But there's someone like her who gets to represent that for women out there.
So cool.
So that ladies might watch this and go, oh, that's so cool she can do that. Maybe I can do that too.
Because how many females or whatever have even tried to scream like that? Like probably not, because you're not really supposed to scream at all. Like I've never even tried to do that before. Like I don't even know what it would sound like.
Totally.
It's like you're supposed to be repressed and like be dignified, right?
Yeah.
So I've just never screamed like that.
Yeah.
You know me, I don't even say ow loudly. So like let alone making a loud. We never even sung in my family.
So it's cool because it's so different than
I like it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
So what did you think about the song though?
I think that like otherwise it was unextraordinary. And the thing that made that amazing was her voice. I think that totally just elevated it. And you could just, for me, like swap out any of those people and it wouldn't matter except if you swapped her out.
Yeah. Irreplaceable.
You can't have that.
Yeah. And I hate to anger the Jinjer fans out there, but Jinjer, in my opinion, not in a band that I really listen to very much or love. I think this song in particular is one of her stronger vocal performances. The choices that she often makes melody-wise don't really vibe with me. And I think the instrumentation is not as strong or memorable for me. So
it's not very memorable. And even like before I heard her do that, like when she was singing, I'm like, it's fine. But still like I'm blown away by that. Like that's probably going to be the most memorable thing you'll show me today.
Right. So in a different way than necessarily being an excellent song for you.
What I would do literally and even going forward is like, you have to hear this person's voice. And I would just show people like a clip of just hearing that and being like, that's like a lady metal singer.
That's a lady metal. Yeah. That's a lady metal. Yeah,
like,
totally.
Can you believe this? Listen to this girl's voice. Like, I'd love to do that, but I probably wouldn't be like, you have to hear their song.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're not ever going to return to this song necessarily, but.
No, but I might show people and be like, wow, look how cool this is. This girl can sing like this.
What's your number 4? This is the part you play loud in your car, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. While trying not to speed. It is definitely Metallica flavored.
Yes.
Which is digestible.
For sure.
For people who aren't really exposed to a lot of harder rock.
Yeah. Have you heard that one before?
Even if I haven't, though, like Metallica is so recognizable, I would know.
Yeah. What is it for you that you notice or recognize most about them?
Their voice and like all the notes they're using.
James Hetfield, the vocalist, he's got that ooh like type of like, he's kind of got like a snarl to his voice, but it's still quite clean. So you can always hear, you know, people who listen to metal for the first time, they can't really hear the enunciation. They can't understand the words. But did you have any trouble with that?
Yeah, because this isn't like screaming. It's like adjusting your voice to sound a certain way.
Totally. So it doesn't turn you off in terms of the vocal style at all. What about some of the instrumentation? Like, did you notice anything about that? Controlled. So like chaotic, not necessarily.
No, it didn't have a chaotic feel to me at all. Like, and then even when they changed it up, they always brought it back pretty quickly.
Sure.
It wasn't like a jazz song or anything.
Number 3, and you can hear the double kick.
This one's catchy.
It is, right? What about this one did you enjoy particularly?
It was just catchy, like more, and kept my attention better.
Yeah.
Without it being too like abrasive.
So something I would say about his voice compared to someone like James Hetfield is he's much more traditionally like vocally focused in some of the pot sensibilities. I kind of mentioned that before. So you can hear like falsetto. So when he goes really high with his voice and kind of soars over the instruments,
Well, I think it's partially, like, not the band. I think it's partially the songs, but
Okay.
that one I found was more boring.
Interesting, because this one, I feel like, takes you on less of a journey. I mean, there's some cool progressive elements, like, in the beginning, it starts out with the harpsichord, and it's, like, very stripped back, and then it builds.
Yeah, compared just strictly those 2, I think that this was a more interesting song for my ears.
Yeah, and what about the production? Like, did you notice because, Metallica's song is from the '80s, and this is much more recent.
There were modern sounds.
Mm.
The computer.
The computer at the end.
Yeah.
Yes. But, like, in terms of the overall sonic quality, did you notice a difference in terms of, like, did this one sound newer or older or anything like that?
Sounded newer, but I
Ah,
don't know if it's because the style
gotcha.
or production.
Because for me, I feel like it's a lot cleaner sounding, and you can hear bands from
Yeah.
the '80s that very much have a different production style, as that was more popular at that time, and now it's much more mechanical sounding and, like, squeaky clean and samples and stuff like this.
It's harder for me to notice because 'cause I'm thinking of so much right now because it's the first time, so
Would you describe it as easy listening at all?
that's easy listening for metal, if that's
Oh,
considered metal.
yes, definitely. Definitely considered metal, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's easy listening.
Would you enjoy listening to more of them, you
Mhm.
think?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
if I heard that, then I'd be interested because that's a really nice, like, background kinda thing too, or,
Yeah.
like, thought-provoking one.
Number 2.
Yeah, it's really, like, catching. His voice is it definitely threw my imagination to other places when I was listening to it, and compared to the other ones we heard today, it made me feel like I could see it in a movie or,
Right, yeah,
yeah, bring me somewhere else,
gotcha.
which was really cool.
Yeah, I noticed throughout all of these songs, something that really happened for you is you like to be transported to, like, another memory or time. Like, music is making you feel that way in general, or what do
Mhm.
you
I
think?
do,
Mm,
yeah. Maybe it's not so much for other people who might enjoy the more technical aspects, but that's more important for me, I think, is,
okay,
like, the
yeah.
feeling it inspires. And this one too, I thought, like, it was interesting enough that it made me feel like, "Oh, I could be interested to at least check out some more of their songs too."
Yeah, okay.
So I'd be
Yeah.
interested to hear what the other songs would sound like, if they're quite different, if they're similar, like, would they all have this Egyptian type
Right.
sound? I don't
Yes.
know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. And you did pick up on that Egyptian flair sort of element, because I wouldn't say that actually is a mainstay of their music at all. It's just kind of something they did for this song.
Which is interesting if that's the case, so
Yeah, because that progressive thing I talked about, it's like almost if you think about yourself as a musician, right? Like, you might get bored if you kinda wrote something in a very narrow area. So,
Mhm.
you really hit certain highs when you try different things and appeal to different audiences and this
Mhm.
sort of thing, right?
Yeah, and this, like, I have no idea what the rest of their songs sound like. But
Mhm.
this song at least gave me the feeling of possibility that the rest of their songs could have unique intrigue to them.
What about that? Is it like a talent perspective or, like,
Maybe because it
variation?
felt like a movie thing that they would also have a bunch of different acts.
Number 1.
I didn't know this was classified as metal.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It brought me back for sure.
Oh, yeah. So it's nostalgic in the way.
It feels the same as all the other alt rock bands that I loved.
Oh,
Like, and I listened to some
really?
Deftones and things, but I never would have, like, thought that that was metal.
Just them as a band or just that song?
That song and the other songs I heard too of
Right.
theirs.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, to find the balance between, metal and rock and alt, it does get really blurred with some of these
Mhm.
bands because of,
That
again, that sound repertoire that they have.
Mhm.
But usually people will classify metal because it has, like, very distorted guitars and heavy drums, which I still think even though that song had a lot of atmosphere and it was quite light, it did have those elements in it.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the feel back to nostalgic times, like
Mm.
high school and stuff.
Reminds you of
So,
high school.
yeah,
Can you, like, touch on some bands that it made you feel or
no effects.
Oh,
And,
yeah, okay.
um, I suck at band names.
Yeah.
Like, because I
Yes.
have them in my head, but I can't
You
describe
can't
them.
describe them, and it's more of
I
a feeling for
forget.
you.
Yeah, it's a feeling, like a vibe, for
Yeah.
sure.
Can you maybe describe some of the feelings you experience when you hear this song particularly?
Internal? How to
Internal.
describe that? Like rebellion that is being tempered by your environment?
Wow.
Yes.
Whoa.
That is what being that age was about a lot, like, you're
I see.
changing and you're growing and you depend on music
Totally.
to keep you in check sometimes.
Gotcha.
And those songs remind me of that.
Oh,
It pushes you to remain a person and not go completely off the wall or, like, too depressed or anything.
keeps your emotions in check that way, or what do you mean?
Like, makes your emotions feel like they have something to bounce off of,
Oh,
like big emotions being contained into something manageable.
thanks for watching. Watch one of these videos next.